We are live.
Boom.
Live and direct, as they say.
Yes, live and direct.
I think they're looking for you in the Discord. And then
I
I'm
should
gonna
get in
the links
Discord.
out.
Just put in one last options trade order. Probably trying to thread the mid too tight. I don't know that I'm gonna get filled. Oh my God, shoulder.
Your shoulder's still hurting?
Dude, my shoulder is smoked. I don't even know. Like
Yeah.
I lifted like when was it? Saturday. I've barely lifted in the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna lose all my gains by the time I get to Vegas.
One thing about gains is that you lose them quick, but you get them back even quicker.
This is true.
Yeah, I may be headed out to Panama City in the relatively near future in this universe for a little stem cell injection.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for my back.
dude.
I heard Tony Robbins talking about it, and then I started doing a deep dive on where he got it done and the procedure and everything. And he was talking about he actually got it for his shoulder, and he said it fully healed his shoulder. But he also said he had a chronic back injury and back pain. And he, even though he got it injected in his shoulder, it also fixed his back pain. So I'm applying and yeah, I'm trying to get it sorted out so that I can go and get it for my back. And it'd be huge if that fixed up my back. It would be really massive.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious to see how that goes, and if you do it, and if it works out, shit, I'll be taking a trip. Get the shoulder taken care of.
Yeah, I'll let you know if it works. I mean, he says it made him feel like he's like, I mean, and he's in his 60s now. So he said it made him feel like he's in his 20s, like shoulder wise.
Yeah, he's getting up there. I mean, he's been doing his thing a long time.
Yeah. Well, and he's crazy. He does like those long events, and he's like jumping around, and
oh yeah, his events are nuts.
Guy. Yeah,
that's that's like with the Alchemist Nation. I mean, trying to do the same thing. It's like Friday start at like 8 a.m. and go till like literally like midnight.
It's crazy.
And I'm just like, yo, crazy. I don't know how anyone stays in the room for the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, they're saying you're muted on Discord.
Damn it, Beavis.
But yeah, welcome everybody. We're doing so if you missed it, yesterday Eric and I did like a little it was like 20 or 30 minutes of us just talking about dev updates. So it was just pure dev updates. It wasn't even live, it was just a recording of dev updates. So we've moved that segment from this AMA to yesterday. So every Monday before the AMA, you'll get like a 20-30 minute dev update. And then for the AMA, we want to actually just do AMA. So, tons of questions and focus on the questions as opposed to doing like updates and questions. And the thinking there is that we can cover a lot more ground. It was easier to do the dev updates and the AMA when we were only getting a couple questions per AMA, but now we're getting like hundreds of questions thanks to Threadcast. So, now we can actually get through all the questions and keep up live with you guys in the Threadcast mode. So if you haven't tried Threadcast mode, open the Threadcast and just leave it open, and you'll see that it's like a real-time chat room. Definitely fun to use. I see Addicted and Bitcoin Flood in the Discord, but I don't see you in the Threadcast.
Called out. Focus.
We already got 178 replies in the Threadcast. Addicted just said Threadcast after I called them out. Love to see it. Taskmaster said this should be Leo's new market line. Everything great is happening on Threads. It was from Focus Now, but I'll take credit for the idea. He stole it from me, I swear. Sounds legit.
Right. So you said, what is it? On Monday, there's a dev update now every week.
Yeah, so every Monday, there's a dev update, and we basically just cover, I mean, like literally just like the normal, like what we would do in this AMA for like where I just rant for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We just move that to its own segment, and it's a recording so that, there's no distractions. We just kind of have like a focused plan. All right,
Okay,
here's,
so it's
things
a
that happen.
recording that's published like through what, like LeoFinance post?
Yeah, it's a LeoFinance post. It's on
Okay.
YouTube, Three Speak. Yeah, so find it in all the places, but it's just a recording. I just posted the link in Threads. It's just a recording where we just talk about the updates, talk about the marketing, especially with the DHF stuff is going to start happening in 3 days. So, in 3 days is the big moment where we hit the ground running. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that kind of happens all at once. There's going to be 2 Zeely campaigns that launch on September 1st. There's going to be a lot of initiatives with influencers. There's going to be communities that we onboard right away. This place is Threads is about to explode in terms of liveliness and new users. So I actually saw in the beginning of this Threadcast, I'll just answer it while I'm talking about this. I saw someone ask what are some things that Leo users can do, Leo and Hive users can do to support Leo and what we're doing. And the number one thing you can do is be a lively and engaged member on Threads, because as these new people come in, we want to see them get replied to, get upvoted, have people to talk to and create relationships with. At the end of the day, what keeps people here is going to be that they start building relationships with you guys. And, that social aspect is infinitely important.
Cool.
Bitcoin Flood said he's here. Glad to see you here in the Threadcast.
Yeah, I guess the AMA recap post is just going to be me throwing in any good questions that are noteworthy to share.
Yeah, I mean, I think we get, and I mean, the Threadcast is already at how many 192 replies. So,
Nice.
there's going to be a ton of questions here, and I think it's going to be nice to actually have an AMA where it's actually like questions and answers, just almost the whole time, like 90% of the time. But one thing that Eric did want us to cover is the markets. So while you guys get some questions in, Bitcoin has ripped like $2,000 up in the last like 2 hours. I posted it on Threads, but news broke that Grayscale got a huge win in their court fight against the SEC. Trying to pull up his one soon brief. There we are. So Grayscale wins the lawsuit, and they might be on the verge of launching their ETF. I'll drop the link in Threads. So we've got the BlackRock decision. I think it's a soft date, but the soft date for the BlackRock decision is in 4 days. And then you've got Grayscale, getting this overturned. So big news for crypto. God Candle.
It is definitely big news. And I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, all right, I'm definitely not going to FOMO buy, because then I started reading the fine print. And I don't know if everyone did that, but in the fine print, basically what they said is, so by the appeal ruling, overturning the SEC's decision, it isn't overturning the decision as in like, oh, now you have approval and you can launch your Bitcoin ETF. What it was is basically an overturn of the decision from the SEC saying no. Now they basically have to review it again. And if they want to say no, they actually have to have a legitimate reason, as opposed to just basically saying no. So it's not like, I think the initial reaction is everyone's like, holy shit, Bitcoin ETF is happening. Like it's a lock. And it's like, well, technically, no, it's not. The SEC needs to review it again and still make a decision. So it's still in the SEC hands. And I mean, I'd be surprised if they don't, at least based on the theme and the trend over the last year or two. I'd be surprised if they didn't basically shoot it down again, but come up with some kind of legitimate reason. if they can figure one out, because that was the big problem was like it was talking about like, treating like kind things, and basically, the futures and the way they're treated basically lined up almost the same as the ETF in terms of function and fraud and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what the SEC says, if they can finagle some kind of excuse to shoot it down again, or if they just
and
make up some shit. They can say whatever, and then just it could get sent back to it could be appealed again, and just keep delay.
Yeah, exactly. No, and Bitcoin Flood said, and if we know the SEC there will be another reason to reject it. Exactly. I mean, the SEC is so anti-crypto. I wouldn't be surprised if they find some random reason to reject it. But that being said, I mean, they've had plenty of opportunities to come up with legitimate reasons for things. So I don't know if it's just laziness or they thought that they could get away with it. But why haven't they already come up with legitimate reasons is one of my questions.
Yep. That was hilarious. NRG posted a meme.
Yeah, that's really funny.
How are we able to hodl through 2 bear markets? I can't find my private keys.
Love to see it. You love to see it.
Yeah, so and Task even said it a couple of minutes ago. It's not a guarantee. The SEC has to review that. Yep. That's why I actually read the article, because I'm like, wait a minute. Because honestly, like the GBTC, right, which is the current Grayscale's current product, and that thing at one point was trading at a 50% discount to Bitcoin. And I think before this announcement, it was trading at like a 25% discount. So I don't know if it's made that up or not. So I took a quick look, because I'm like, well, shit, if there's still a discount there, then this is almost like a guaranteed, profit. But I was like, you know what, let me dig more into this. And then when I saw that basically it's just, them being able to get reviewed again, I was like, all right, there's no guarantee here.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, I think the interesting thing for me is that, we just had that Ripple ruling, and then this after that, we're kind of seeing a lot of cards stack up against the SEC. And I think there seems to be a more pro crypto stance in courts versus what the SEC has done. And at the end of the day, if courts keep overturning the SEC and keep pushing back on it, I see that as an overall positive thing long term. And I was saying in chat too that crypto has kind of infiltrated all levels of the government and society at large. If these judges if they don't personally hold crypto, they know someone personally who does, like a family member or a friend. And crypto has made its way into the mainstream, whether or not people like Gary Gensler want to accept it. It's in the mainstream already. So I think for the SEC to keep pushing back on it is more of a personal vendetta than reality. Crypto is gonna get regulated and adopted at some point at scale. So it's more, do they want to have one hand on the wheel, or do they want to have do they want to be in the back seat?
Exactly.
Fastmaster posted a GIF of Elon saying, "I do not respect the SEC."
Nice.
Which is actually, it's not just a fake meme on the internet. He actually legitimately said that in an interview.
What do we got? Question for AMA from Alex Work. When outside page previews on Threads, so that when you paste an external link, you get a preview.
So it works in some places, but it doesn't work everywhere. So we're working on that. Like I know on Twitter, it doesn't really work properly. But if you do paste a thread on, just test it before I say. No, it's not working on Discord either. I guess it depends on where you paste it right now, but we're working on it to make it more robust, both for threads and for posts, not just for threads. But there is an idea to make it look more like the way that Twitter, because Twitter is actually really nice, the way it kind of embeds like the user, the username, and then it shows like the text, and then it shows like even likes, and then it shows Twitter and timestamp. So yeah, we're working on getting it looking like that for threads, and then for posts, we're trying to figure out how to get it so that the images show properly, and then you get a better preview as well. This is all going to be important for SEO too. So soon is your answer.
LeoVerse.
It is on the Dev 100 list, which I talked about yesterday. If you didn't hear me talk about it, I talked about it in the recording from yesterday. So go check that out. Or I talked about it on the Random Friday podcast that we did, where we just wanted to test the Threadcast mode. But I talked about it there too, that basically there's an internal document with the devs that we keep. And that internal document is like the next 100 things that we're working on. So it's like a roadmap of development for the Leo UI. And there's 100 items on it. And basically every week, me and the devs review that document and we just cross off what was already done. So usually it's, it depends on what the items are, because some items, like for example, Leo Cash took like over a month. So some items take a really long time. Some items are very quick. They're just like, bug fixes or simple features that can just get knocked out really quickly. But on any given week, there might be 10, 20, 30 items from that list that get crossed off. And then we add 20 more to it from my longer term roadmap, which is like thousands of items long at this point. So all the Sooniverse soons about, when new features, I am going to start publishing that on a weekly basis. And then also we talk about it, me and Eric talk about it on that new Monday show, where, we basically just talk about all the dev updates. So, we'll have a lot more clarity on the soons, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. There's no clear dates on the dev. So I'm calling it Dev 100. That's going to be like the name for it. There's no like dates or anything attached to them. That's the way that I work with the devs now. And I've worked with a lot of different devs, and, I've had, good and bad experiences. And one thing that I learned is this new workflow of, I put out a list of 100 items. The devs get to kind of like bid almost, if you want to think about it like that. They get to like bid on which items from the list they want to work on for that week. And then, basically the devs kind of separate, and then they do those ideas. And then at the end of the week, we review them. They get pushed to labs. And then the list on the following Monday, the list gets updated with new items to replace the ones that were fixed or completed, basically. So that's how the Dev 100 list works. Normally, it's just an internal document. But like I said, I'm going to start publishing that every week so you guys can kind of follow along. I know a big piece of feedback we've gotten over the last year or so is just that you guys want more like transparency on like where things are going in the roadmap. So, I've always wanted to put out like that long roadmap that I have, like the really long-term one with like thousands of items on it. But the problem with doing that is that the roadmap's always changing. Priorities are always changing. So like, we might take something that is on the back burner and then suddenly bring it to the top of the Dev 100 list, because we think that it's like necessary to get it out, or for, whatever reasons we think it's important to get it out sooner than later. So I think the Dev 100 list being like a weekly or bi-weekly thing that I can put out, it is really nice, because then you can see that the priorities are always changing, but you can see that you can see the real-time priorities essentially. So that's where we're headed. I'm going to start publishing that every week along with the Monday podcast that Eric and I do.
Cool. So, and I'm curious about this too, because we kind of talked about it a couple weeks ago and then haven't circled back. So, Sammy Hive asked, as the LeoFinance IO is still active, what has happened with the rebranding agenda?
Yeah, so got some cool news on the rebranding. We've landed on a name. That name shall be shared when WEN we are ready. And we will be ready soon.
So the announcement will be sometime soon, but as far as a actual rebrand, that's already been decided on.
It has been decided on, but like everything in the Sooniverse, until it's here, until it's now, it's always up for debate.
Makes
But I
sense. Makes
personally like the
sense.
name. We've been kind of like what's the word for it? I'm losing the word.
I don't know. Pondering.
Tip of my tongue. We've been kind of like focus grouping the word. So we've been asking
Yes.
different people. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. We've been kind of asking different people what they think about it.
Well, that's good because I was
The
going to
short
say
name.
I was almost going to say, I was like, I'm surprised you haven't thrown out like a poll or something. But at the same time, if you want to, do the kind of like private focus group testing, that actually might be better.
Yeah, so my plan is to do private testing, then move it into we'll do a poll on threads and just look for general feedback from all of you guys. But until we're ready, we are in this stage.
You know what? I've noticed this too. Tokenized Society said it doesn't really matter to me, but why does reputation display a different value depending on where you look at it on the Leo UI? I see that too. Like sometimes like
It's
if
25
you
or it's what it
yeah,
actually is, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's just a bug. But it is on the list. It's actually on the Dev 100 list. It's a bug that needs to get fixed. Where it's not reading. I think it usually happens when you're on your profile page, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I'll have to look later. Yeah. So if you go to your profile page, it'll say 25 at the top, which is obviously not, that's the default for Hive. It's not accurate. It's just a bug. But if you look elsewhere, it gives you your actual reputation. So we'll fix that. But we actually do have a better implementation for the reputation system that is it's not on the Dev 100 yet, but it's later down the roadmap to create more of like an engagement score reputation. So your reputation would actually be based more on like engagement on the UI, stake in Leo, and things like that. So new reputation score will come later, but the bug fix is soon. Jeff Jago asks, any plan to expand the AMA onto X/Twitter? Yeah, eventually I want to do Twitter Spaces or X Spaces with the podcast. It's just kind of logistically hard. We tried it one week, a couple weeks ago. We tried it, and it was kind of difficult to get working correctly with the audio, but we will figure it out and get it on all of the streams. But right now we're on YouTube, Twitter. We're like Twitter live stream, but not Twitter Spaces. So you can actually watch it from X, but you can't. It's not a space, basically.
No, I just saw what the tweet that Addicted posted.
Yeah.
X obtains license required for crypto payments and trading. Interesting.
Yep, big news.
Maybe that's why Bitcoin's actually pumping. Forget
That's the real
Grayscale.
reason.
X gonna bring it to you.
Welcome, Luis 88. Yeah, so Bitcoin, while we've been talking, Bitcoin just touched 28K when Addicted posted that tweet too. So
yeah, we're up
I don't know.
almost 1,800 points on the day. It's crazy. It's a big ass move.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was
right
actually
now, almost, yeah. I mean, we had that big sell-off candle that, took us all the way down to 26 and change back on the 17th. That was like a 2,000 point candle. Volume's up too.
Yeah, pretty awesome to see. I was kind of pissed this morning because at 10 a.m. Or so when the news broke, I had some orders in to buy Bitcoin and they were just below 26K. I was waiting for them to get filled. So I ended up kind of FOMOing in because I saw the news and I was waiting for that fill. So I canceled it and then I think I bought it like 27,200. So it's in in the long run, it's not really a big deal, which is why I did it. But
yeah, because long-term bag. Well, I mean, technically, if it was a trade, you'd be in the green.
I am technically in the green, but yeah, it is long term. I haven't sent it away to my MakerDAO vault yet, but it will make its way in there. So
yeah, I know. Unfortunately, my last long-term buy was probably like 3 or 4 days, if that, before we had dumped off. So I bought at like 29.2, and then a few days later, down we went.
Yep.
And that was my buy for this month. So we'll see where we're at come September. But yeah, definitely. I don't want to say I didn't grab any down here. I grabbed a tiny bit down to 26, just because anytime there's a big sell-off, it always just makes sense to add to your long-term bag, at least a little bit. So, and yeah, I guess I could have bought more, but instead I had actually paid down my MakerDAO low. Instead of like putting up more Bitcoin collateral, I just paid it down with some DAI, and obviously feeling much more comfortable now because prices bump back up. But yeah, I wanted to knock my liquidation price down below, like, what I consider the new all-time lows. But yeah, I guess the move would have been buy more Bitcoin and stake it. I didn't want to. I guess I didn't want to do that. Looking back on it, that was apparently the move. But you never know what's going to happen. We obviously could have went lower.
You never know. You never know. We could just as easily, we could dump down to 23, 24, 25. But you never know. I was buying a pretty good amount at 26K. I had a bunch of orders in to buy. So obviously, in hindsight, I still wish I bought more. That's how it always goes.
Oh yeah. Well, what's funny too is that I was looking at stocks this morning and I was like, all right, do I want to put on any additional plays because I got out of some stuff. So I freed up some trading capital. And I was looking at Coinbase because I'm like, all right, after the big run up it had, it's pulled back kind of like to essentially like new support, based on the top of its old range. And I just was like, I got distracted. I didn't do anything. And then obviously with that news, Coinbase is mooned also. Coinbase is up 15% right now, the stock. So I was just laughing. I was like, that's hilarious that I was randomly looking at it, thinking about getting in a position. I would have been so lucky. I would have put on a poor man's cover.
10% too.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it's not a surprise. Well, I mean, it was all positive news. Positive news today for crypto, between the Grayscale and apparently the Twitter thing. Man, I can't keep up with the threads.
I know there's so many. Sammy Hive asked, there's no way to promote posts on LeoFinance. Show me if there is. That's actually on the Dev 100 list. So it's one of the upcoming features, is to add a promotional tool.
I loved NRG's question. Where do you get the money to be buying all the time? Cal's crypto rich. That's how.
There's a lot of sources of income in terms of IRL, mostly IRL. Crypto income is not doing so hot in this market, but IRL income investments I've made that are finally coming back. And then obviously I've talked about this a lot, but during the peak bull market, I moved a lot of crypto into stable coins, and I've been sitting in those stable coins and waiting to buy. So I have a dollar cost averaging plan, and I basically just take some of my I have like a big stack of stables, and I just slowly convert that to Bitcoin and other cryptos when I on a set schedule, essentially.
Yeah.
Tokenized Society said Cal's moving product. I wish.
Yeah, he is. He's flipping coins.
Flipping coins and taking numbers.
Sammy Hive, staking on LeoFinance is not limited to the 15th. The 15th is just LPUD day. So you can stake 24/7, 365. But if you do it on the 15th, you'll be part of LPUD and obviously have a chance at winning a delegation for the month from those that are donating delegations.
Addicted said when MicroStrategy liquidation. I don't think they're getting liquidated anytime soon. But I know a lot of people were talking about it. I think Michael Saylor said their liquidation price was like under 8K or something. But yeah, so I think their average buy, they're actually like break even. I think their average buy price is right around 29K, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, because they're always buying. So he's been buying all the way up, all the way down.
Yep.
So I think Eric really found the answer to everything. Cal buys his crypto with his influencer revenue from OnlyFans.
Maybe. Surprised you guys haven't found it yet.
He's got that's the Leo line is on OnlyFans for all the people that are into the furries. That's how Cal makes his money. He's got the Leo lion costume over in the closet.
Yep. This is true. Speaking of, that is also on the Dev 100 list is the Only Leos protocol. So I hope we get that out soon. Obviously, I don't have an exact date for it.
What?
Only Leos.
Hold on. Is this like a spoof or is this serious right now?
Well, it's we're giving people the means to create a private subscription. It's going to look more like Patreon or Substack. But obviously the code name, similar to Project Blank, is meant to be provocative because it gets the people going.
Leos. So yeah, it gets the people going. Okay, so if I wanted to create like the cat corner, I can have my Only Leos cat corner page.
Exactly, and then people can subscribe to you and pay, $4.99 a month, to get premium content from you that is only available if they're a subscriber.
Yes, and people will go there for real life funny cat videos and then only come to find that I'm just there dropping knowledge on real estate.
Yep. Exactly.
I think there's a rich list, right?
Yeah, on LeoDex.
Who's the highest? Yeah, who's the highest Leo power holder?
Yeah, LeoDex has that.
Yeah, so you can find the rich list. The cat is not on it. Sadly, somehow, even though he's been here from the beginning. Don't know how I messed that up.
Luis88 asked, can you put the stream in the main thread so people can watch on one single page? Yeah, actually, Eric and I were talking about that, I think last Friday. That is going to be something that we add to Threadcast is going to be, I don't know where it's going to be yet on the page. I'm thinking that it's going to be like one of those little pop-outs that you can put, like it's on the bottom right. You've probably seen it like on Twitter and other places where you can like watch a video while you're still on the UI. So for something like this, we would be able to like embed the YouTube link and then you'd be like watching it in your bottom right screen. And then you'd be able to just Threadcast all from one page rather than having like multiple tabs open. So that'll be fun. It'll really turn this place into like being like Twitch. Like, I mean, the Threadcast mode has already kind of turned it into Twitch. Like we're talking to you guys in real time now in a way that wasn't possible before. So
I'm trying to, did you see Lewis 88's thread? Can you put the stream in the main thread so people can watch on one single page? I don't know.
Yeah, I just answered that.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I was reading questions, not listening.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, so it's going to be like it'll be like a pop out in the bottom right. You'll be able to watch it. When Blue Moon, Super Cycle says IDK Smart. I don't even know what that means, but
sounds like something addicted.
I know a lot of people do some moon shit. You should ask Addicted. I know he loves the moon shit. He knows all about the moon cycles.
When moon.
He's your man.
All right. Shasiana asked, how can one's reputation grow on Threads? Which I know we've touched on, but it's something that's always worth touching on again.
Yeah, your so like I said, I mean, we've got another reputation system in mind that's going to come later on, but as it stands, we use the Hive reputation system, which is based pretty much on the upvotes that you've received in terms of like value. So the more upvotes you've gotten over the years, the higher your score. So some of us who've been around for, many years have higher scores, like Mitch and I, around the 80s. Bitcoin Flood has 78. So like people who've been around, Nomad Soul has 80. So people who've been around for a while have really high scores, just because we've been around for a bunch of years. But yeah, getting upvoted is basically how Eric said I'm 81. I'm 81 plebs, actually, is what he said. So yeah,
Good for you, bro. I'm still at 78, I think. I think I've literally been at 78, I think, for like 2 years or some shit. I don't even get it anymore.
I think I'm almost at 82. Here to see.
Like, I don't even understand how I've been stuck at 78.
I lied. I'm at 80.7.
Clearly no whales are voting on me.
Bow to the irrelevant picture next to my profile picture. Yeah, reputation scores are pretty much irrelevant.
Yes, 100%.
They're mostly based around getting upvotes and stuff. So we have something really cool in mind for the reputation system, to create like an engagement score, like I was saying. So it'll be based more on like, are you leaving a lot of comments? Are you replying to a lot of people? Are you giving out, diversified upvotes to other people? Are you, making high scores on the leaderboard? And your reputation will always be fluctuating. So I think that's going to be like a key piece, is like, you can't just have a high reputation because you've been around for a while. Being around for a while will have a factor, like the age of your account and, how old some of your posts are, how old some of your upvotes and comments and threads are, will have a factor. But it won't be everything. So you'll have a score that's kind of always changing. So if someone's really active on the UI, they'll have a really high score. Taskmaster said reputation should be tied to NFTs. So Leo NFTs are on the horizon, and they're going to have a lot of different features on the UI, including you'll be able to see other people's NFTs. You'll also be able to like power up NFTs. So for example, like you can equip like one NFT at a time, and that NFT will show next to your name, and it might give you certain superpowers, like you might appear higher than someone else in the reply section, and stuff like that. So it'll be fun. IDK Samad's reputation is 69. Love to see it. Love to see it.
I saw it somewhere earlier. What's the latest on the DHF and that reaching that milestone and all that goodness?
Yeah, so we are currently about 4 million over the support level. So we are at over 100%. Well, you can't technically be over 100%, but we're 4 million over the bar that we need to be at.
Okay, awesome. So
yeah, so
some headway.
we're at 25.5 million voted for the proposal in terms of high power, but we keep reiterating in all the different places that our goal is to get it to 30 million. So, it doesn't really matter to us that we're over the bar right now. We want to signal more support and get to 30 million, for a variety of reasons. But one major one is like, we don't want any interruptions in the funding. So like, we don't want to be fighting with that funding line. Like we want to make sure that we have like a huge margin of safety in terms of funding, because, once we get these marketing things rolling, and like I said, they're going to start rolling on September 1st, which is 3 days from now. Once we get a lot of these things rolling, they're going to be ongoing costs. And, we don't want to interrupt it at all. We want to keep that flow going. We need that flow to keep rolling to get that customer acquisition cost that we keep talking about, and keep it as low as possible. So having a lot of initiatives that kind of collaborate with each other is going to be really important for that. So you've probably seen, but we've been posting a bunch of the individual marketing plans from the @LeoFinance account. And in those marketing plans, we've been giving like very specific details on, what the marketing is going to look like, and how we plan to onboard all these new users. So, we keep reiterating, we're aiming to double the user base of Hive. So Hive has about 10 to 11,000 monthly active users. and our minimum target is 9,600 users onboarded. But we're aiming to double the Hive user base. So I think we can definitely do it. I've made a big bet on our team, which is that, in the proposal, I said, if we don't onboard the minimum target, which is 9,615 new users to Hive, if we don't onboard that minimum, I will refund the entire DHF. So, we're asking for like around 200K for the proposal, for the whole lifetime of the proposal, which is, like 400 days. So at the end of the 400 days, which is the end of 2024, so like December 31st, 2024, if we have not onboarded the 9,615 users minimum, then I will give back the entire 200K or whatever the end amount is that we get from the DHF. I will personally refund that back to the DHF. So it costs Hive absolutely nothing. So that's the bet I've made. And I know a lot of people, push back on the proposal. And one of the big pushbacks was like, why would we even offer that? Like the refund to the DHF. And my answer is that it's a bet. I've bet on my team to deliver what we said we're going to deliver. And if we don't, then I lose the bet and I pay the money back. So that is the bet. And we've done a lot of things with marketing over the years, and especially over the last few months. And we've really hit a cool stride with how the marketing's been going on Leo. So I know Eric wanted us to mention that the current monthly active user base on Leo broke a new record, which is 1,289 monthly active users. And that is currently, so the month is not over yet. We still have a few days. So we'll end somewhere above that, probably somewhere in the 1300s. I love to see the growth that we've seen. We've pretty much 3x the user base since the beginning of this year. And that's with a very minimal marketing budget. Because, in terms of the Leo team and the LeoFinance as a project and an ecosystem, the amount of dollars that we've allocated for marketing is not super huge. Like I give Eric a pretty limited budget in terms of marketing per month because, obviously a lot more of the capital is not unlimited as much as it might seem like it is. This stuff is really expensive to build. The Leo UI is extremely expensive. We've got a huge team now, a bunch of different devs working on all sorts of things. And all of that is very expensive. So a lot of our resources as a team goes toward development. And our DHF proposal is literally just giving us a big marketing budget to amplify everything we're already doing, which I think is where we'll take Hive to the next level in terms of onboarding so many users. We've already onboarded hundreds of users with a very limited budget. So to have a very big budget and to say that we're going to onboard at least 9,000 users, I think is just super achievable for our team. So that's why I've made that bet. I fully believe in our team's ability to deliver it. So Eric said we need the Lions to rally. So technically 4.5 million more Hive power is what we need to get to our personal goal, which is not, we're already 100%, but our personal goal is to get to 30 million. So
what's the threshold right now? I know it keeps moving up.
It's 21.3 million threshold. It actually moved down a little bit over the weekend. Addicted said a $200,000 bet is some serious high roller action. Good thing you didn't bet $1 million that Bitcoin would be 1 million in a month. Yeah, so that's funny. Yeah, that's the Balaji Bitcoin bet, in case you guys didn't know, a couple months back. But yeah, $200,000 bet. I mean, it's not nothing. That's not going to be a fun day if I have to pay that back. So you better believe that it's in my best interest to be working my ass off, and I will be personally lighting the fire underneath Eric's ass to deliver these monthly active users, because I don't want to pay that $200,000. But if we fail, then we will pay it. But I don't think we'll fail. Plan B is to reinforce plan A.
Indeed. And when in doubt, just take 200K to Vegas and put it on black.
Speaking of the DHF proposal, we also have, Eric, can you help me with the exact date? If you can post it in the Threadcast. I think it's the 31st. I keep forgetting. I have it written down somewhere. the They Call Me Dan AMA that we're doing about the DHF proposal. Somewhere in my buried DMs, it's 11 a.m. PST on the 30th. So tomorrow. So tomorrow is Wednesday the 30th. Yep, Eric got it. Tomorrow the 30th at 11 a.m. PST. We're doing an AMA with They Call Me Dan. It'll be live on his Twitter Spaces. We'll do a Threadcast for it too. But we're inviting the whole Hive community to come out and ask us any questions, give us any feedback you want on the DHF proposal. The cool thing about that is it's like 2 days before the DHF proposal actually begins. So it's an important timing thing. We'll get to answer any questions, talk about anything you guys want. So tell your friends, come ask questions and join us for that AMA. I think it's going to be a pretty big AMA in terms of turnout. So hope to see you guys there.
What time was it again?
11 a.m. PST.
Okay. So
which is
2 p.m. Eastern.
Is that 2 p.m. Eastern?
12/1/2. Yep. And that's tomorrow. Cool.
So yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern time, 11 a.m. PST. Hope to see you guys there.
And is that going to be, we're going to be able to listen to that within the LeoFinance channels, or is that separate?
It'll be on, there will be a Threadcast, and then I think, I know for sure it'll be on Twitter Spaces. I don't know where else They Call Me Dan usually streams his stuff. I think it's mostly Twitter Spaces. So I would recommend just looking out for it on Spaces. And if you go to the Leo Twitter account, we're going to post a bunch of tweets about it. And if you're on Threads, we'll post a bunch of threads about it. So if you're around at that time, I'm sure you'll be able to find the links. It'll be, we'll be plastering the walls with the links.
IDK Samad asked, any update about Leo app, which I don't know that there's any updates, right? I don't think is the Leo app, from what I remember, Leo app is like not even a thing anymore. It's all about mobile, but.
Yeah, I got a bad taste in my mouth when it came to the iOS app store. I battled with them for months and months on end about the Leo app because they basically took it down and didn't give any reasoning for it. So
they're like the SEC.
Right, literally, yeah. So my approach, and I've talked about it a few times, is that we want to build a robust web application that's amazing. And the reason why is because nobody's going to take your website down. And if they do, you open source your code, and now you've got 50 websites under different domains with the same application. So I think the only way to be truly immutable in this space is to have a robust web app that is good on desktop, tablet, and mobile. So that is important to me. And we will have the Leo mobile app make a return. But the focus is definitely on building a really robust web app. And then we'll also have the mobile app. But yeah, the web app is the way. I use the web app on my mobile device all the time. I know it's not perfect, but that's something that we've been working on a lot is making mobile better. So you guys probably already saw, we made some really big improvements to like the mobile menu and the mobile UI in general in the last like few weeks and few months. And there is actually on the Dev 100 list, which you guys will see soon. There are a bunch of mobile updates in the pipeline. So whenever we get to them, there's going to be a bunch of mobile updates. It'll make it a lot more enjoyable to use. A big one is like making the upvote buttons and just all the buttons in general, like have higher click thresholds. So, right now they're kind of small when you're on mobile, but that's a big one for me that I told the devs I want fixed. Yeah, Nomad Soul, I tried replying to some people, and when the feed auto refreshes, I lose the reply. When. Someone else asked that in the Threadcast too. So that is a bug. It happens when you click reply and it opens the reply pop-up. If you start typing, but then someone else posts a reply and then it auto refreshes, you lose the pop-up window. That's a bug, and it's on the Dev 100 bug list, and it will get fixed. Taskmaster said the Dev 100 list is the best news. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys will really enjoy it. Like I said, it's always been like an internal document between me and the dev team. So it's super unpolished and raw. So what I'm trying to do is make it a little bit more polished. It'll still be kind of raw when you guys see it. But the point of it is that we get a little bit more transparency on what's being worked on, like in the immediate future. So it's kind of like an immediate roadmap that's always evolving. Yeah, I think you guys will really enjoy it, but don't expect something that's like super polished. It's not going to be like a really pretty document. It's going to be a very like raw, list of 100 things with like very, minimal detail. It's basically what the devs see when I tell them to fix, like I want something fixed or added. It's a very raw list of things. So that's just my disclaimer, is that don't expect like a really beautiful document. Just going to be a raw document that I upload every week or every 2 weeks or so. Bitcoin Flood said soon Dev 1000 list. Yeah, I mean, I have a list of probably close to 10,000 things. I've never checked how many items it actually is. But literally when you guys post like hashtag feedback threads, or you put something in Discord, or I see someone complaining about something, or I'm using the UI and I just think of something randomly, I add it to that list, and there's literally like 10,000 things on it. So there's an endless amount of things to do. But yeah, I give it to the team in batches of 100, just to keep it manageable. And then I also am always prioritizing. So I'm always reading from the bigger list, and I'm saying, okay, I'm saying, okay, this is really important to me right now, so I'm putting it at the top of the Dev 100. This is no longer that important, so I'm going to move it to the longer term list and take it off the Dev 100, or just move it down the list on the Dev 100. So it's basically just a management tool, but I think it's going to be cool for you guys to see and get a little bit more transparency on what's being done, kind of on like a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. Eric said, it's a doc made by devs. We'll be thankful that it's readable. We don't need design. True. Yeah, it's not going to be readable, not going to be pretty. I'm sure there's going to be typos. There's going to be, images that are half cut off. And that's just how a dev list looks. It's not made for reading. It's made for, it's like a task list. Not to be confused with Taskmaster. Will the Dev 100 be available in multiple languages, says Taskmaster? No, but if anyone wants to translate it, I will just be posting it on the LeoFinance account, and anyone is free to manipulate it and translate it and repost it as they want.
So this is interesting. I'm looking at like, number of comments under the, top under your Threadcast, and like it says 265 for me, right? So like, I'm like, all right, let me refresh screen, and I do that, and it shows it as 513. So I have to refresh for that to update, it seems like, but let's see if it happens again. Yeah. And now it's reverted. The number just dropped down to 268.
Yeah, there's a bug. It is also on the Dev 100 list. But there's a bug. I actually added it during this Threadcast because it's a new bug. But there's a bug where it shows, I think what it's doing, obviously we've been live, so I haven't been able to investigate, but my initial thoughts are that it's showing the 269 or whatever lower number you see, is it's showing just the top level replies, not the replies within the replies, if you know what I mean. So
that makes sense.
That's my thinking, but it is a bug. We'll fix it.
That makes total sense now. Well, I mean, so that's good to know that a little less than 50% of the engagement is replies to people's threads, as opposed to just, it being one-off threads and no one, replying or communicating within threads. So that's actually good. So that bug at least gave us that information.
Yeah. No, I mean, half the replies are replies to replies. So it's kind of, try saying that a couple of times quick. So good to see. A lot of engagement. I love the new Threadcast mode. Like I just want to do, I told Eric yesterday, I just want to do Threadcast now. I'd love to do one every single day. It's just fun.
There you go. Chicky said, these Threadcast is helping me learn a lot. Let me read some comments and posts. So yeah, because you're just getting information flying in.
Yeah. Sammy Hive asked, what is Dev 100? Where have you been for 10 minutes, Sammy? I just covered Dev 100 extensively. The recording to this will be posted right after we get off. But in short, it is the next 100 things that are getting added to the UI. Added or fixed.
Lewis 88, that the quote unquote only Leos initiative pretty much answers the questions about an area where you can post stuff and only people with a select NFT in their wallet are able to see it. And that's kind of with a little bit what Task was leaning towards too.
There's going to be a lot of cool features in the Sooniverse where it will be based on how much Leo power you have, or subscribing with a certain amount of Leo per month, for example, or holding an NFT. There's going to be a lot of different variables where you could get your hands on like premium features or premium content from different authors by either, holding an NFT, holding a certain amount of Leo power, or burning Leo. So. NRG asks, Cal, what do you eat to be so useful for Hive? Thank you. I haven't eaten anything today. I usually eat, I do intermittent fasting. So I eat, I take 18-hour fast windows and then I eat in a 6-hour window every day. So I've been doing that for a long time and I really enjoy it. I just mainline, I wake up, I mainline coffee for like 8 hours and then I eat after that. So
man, I've been so caught up in the Threadcast, I haven't even looked at Discord.
Yeah, Eric said add the YouTube and Twitter listeners, and damn, the When Soon show is really growing friends. Yeah, the Discord has a bunch of people in it, so love to see it. But the chat is quiet, which you also love to see because that means you guys are listening on Discord but typing on threads.
Yeah, everyone's in the Threadcast,
which you love to see. You really love to see that. Yeah, the Threadcast is moving. Biyimi said the Threadcast is really threading at a very fast pace. Yeah, it's moving fast. It's hard to keep up with you guys.
Task wants to know when 1 million page views per day.
Soon. I don't know, but that would be great for ad revenue. What would 1 million page views be worth? Let's see. Quick math. Would be worth about 30,000 Leo per day, roughly. 1 million page views. So we hit 1 million page views. That's 30,000 Leo getting bought back every single day, which is 6 times the current inflation rate of Leo. So say that would be pretty bullish for the ecosystem. Eric said he does something similar. He fasts for 16 hours and eats within 8 hours. Yeah, sometimes I kind of go between 16 and 8. I'd say on the weekends, I'm probably like 16-8. And then on the weekdays, I'm probably more like 18-6. And sometimes even more fasting time. Kind of depends on how busy I am. I don't really like to eat and work because when I eat, I feel like, I don't know if anyone here has ever gotten their like insulin measured, but after you eat, especially if you eat some carbs, your insulin spikes and then you get really tired. So I usually get really tired after I eat.
Me too.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just work all morning and early afternoon, and then I'll eat something. And then a lot of times I'll like maybe take a nap if I didn't sleep much. And then, wake back up. And then I kind of have like a second day after that where I can work through, at night and get a bunch of more stuff done, which is very useful because the devs are all international. So they're all at different time zones. So I get to work with them in the morning and then at night. Luis 88 asked, do you like Threadcast? I love them. I don't know about you guys, but I want to do a Threadcast every single day. Super fun. It's never been possible on Hive to have like this real-time engagement. So I love it. Energy said, man doesn't even eat and gets so much done. I think you actually get more done when you don't eat. That's my opinion. You feel very good when you don't eat. If I could just go every day, like if I could eat like 1 day a week, that'd be awesome. I would do it. But then I would probably die or.
That's a little extreme.
Yeah.
I mean, the once a
but
day
probably work a
is
lot better.
feasible. There's
Yeah,
people that do
OMAD.
that.
Yeah, I used to do the OMAD diet. Now I do like the 2 MAD diet. I don't know. I eat 2 meals a day.
I'm the opposite. I mean, I don't like fasting doesn't really work for me. I actually can't even fast because I have like a enzyme imbalance in my liver and I'm actually not supposed to fast.
Oh wow.
But I found that I'm better off just eating throughout the day, especially because like when I go long periods without eating, like especially if like I wait too long to eat, and like you said, that insulin spike, I'll eat and then I'm done, like to the point where I'm just toast and sometimes even get like a headache. Um, I end up losing the rest of the day. That's happened a lot where I'm so busy and then like I finally eat like 3 hours after, I was already starving. And then it's just like I'll eat and it feels like a truck hit me. And then I end up
Yeah,
passing
that's
out. I
exactly.
end up passing out for like a half hour to an hour.
Yep. That literally happens to me all the time.
Wow.
Vote on Threads seems to be stuck at 100%. Can only spread love to a few. Steam streams. Try going to your settings page and see if you're accidentally set to 100%. And I keep mine set to 5%. So look at your default vote weight for threads and default vote weight for posts. I keep both of those at 5%. So check those. Maybe you're set at 100%, and that's why. So just change them and then click save, and then you should be good.
You know what? I forgot. I gotta adjust that. I think mine's at the 10% default.
iJats says he loves to Ethan work. Me too. Love ETH.
Anderson O said, can we all promise to be here on Threadcast when Hive Fest is going on? Gonna make the experience that much more fun.
Yeah, I want to do some big Threadcast for Hive Fest. I think we could do some cool stuff there.
I mean, yeah, we should try and do throwing at least a short Threadcast from the Vegas event too. Post some pictures of the Hive, Hive, and then the LeoFinance booth, and then let everyone chat it up.
Yep. Yeah, we'll figure something out. I want to talk to the powers that be for Hive Fest and see if we can do some cool official stuff with Threadcasts.
Yeah.
We're trying to get Threadcast really smooth, but you guys have probably seen, I mean, there's a few bugs here and there, like the reply window and stuff, but that'll get fixed. But in the back end, in terms of the back end and like the loading, I haven't seen any issues. So we're just hammering out bugs right now.
Just straight exterminating. Almost at 600. I don't know that we're gonna make it
Bitcoin
to
Flood
1,000.
said, if you have a low balance of Hive, you have the option to change the vote weight. Yeah, I mean, you could change it no matter what balance of Hive power you have. But I do wonder, now that you bring that up, is if the percentage is too low. I don't see why that'd be a problem, but you could run out of resource credits faster if you're voting more. But that has more to do with how much you're voting, not what percentage you use when you vote. So we are, one thing on the Dev 100 list is that dynamic resource credit delegation system that we've been working on. So one of the devs has been working on that in the background while other stuff has been going on. I'm hoping to have that out in the very near sooniverse, where new users that we onboard will have a dynamic set of resource credits, so that if they start running low, we just delegate more to them. And then if they were to like say their activity in the next month is like pretty low, we'll take some resource credits back into our pool. So our pool will be kind of always dynamic, and it'll just give resource credits where they're needed. And obviously, we've been quietly picking up some Hive, despite some people thinking that Leo doesn't have a big stake in Hive, we've been quietly picking up some Hive, because we're going to need these RCs. We've got a need for RCs. Did we just crash the Threadcast, or is that just me?
I think it's just you because I saw someone else post saying it wasn't updating, but it's coming in. I just got 3 new threads. Wow. Wealth West said
I
I'm
might.
getting multiple notifications on one thread reply. I don't.
I
Steam
hope I
Streams was
don't.
at 5%. Oh yeah, so Steam Streams updated. It was at 5%, but they changed it and now it is working. BMES maximum threads you have made in a day. I'm assuming that question is the Threadcast record, which I'm assuming is now, right? What do we have?
Sorry, what was that?
Maximum threads done in a day.
I think it was 20. Eric will know. Eric's got the exact figure, something like in the 20,000 range.
Nice. And as far as the Threadcast, I think this is probably at a new record, right? We're at 615 now for the AMA Threadcast, which we're going to be wrapping up in a couple minutes because Cat's got to go. And then what is it?
Skedaddle.
September 5th is next Tuesday. So we got Labor Day weekend here in the US. So Monday is Labor Day. And then we will be off on the 12th because that will be travel day to the Vegas event.
You know, I was actually going to ask you, I mean, we can talk about it off air too, but maybe a rare in-person AMA with me and the cat. Yeah, a little mobile AMA from Vegas.
Yeah, we could do it live from the booth.
Live from the booth.
Might be a little loud, but
yeah. We'll figure something out. We'll try to get a live show in there. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, it would definitely be fun. Yeah. Live update from the conference.
Alo Kumar is saying that BlackRock won over the SEC. Did I see that update? I actually didn't see anything about BlackRock today. Is there breaking news that we didn't catch? Let's see.
Interesting.
BlackRock. Oh, Grayscale tweeted about the ruling today. I want to read that when we get jump off. I don't see anything about BlackRock. If you got a link or anything, drop it in the Threadcast. I didn't see anything about BlackRock.
Yeah, all
today.
I see is I see some opinion stuff. Like some analyst said, BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF is the only one that matters. Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, Bitcoin did touch 28K. It is a shade back under it now again. That is one big ass green candle. And the good part is that's some good volume. And we still have
huge volume,
like 6 hours left on this daily candle. So that'll match some of these other high volume days. That doesn't guarantee anything. I mean, we had a big green candle with huge volume back on July 13th that basically was the high, because then we had a big red candle and we've been down ever since. Or you can get the push like we got back in June, where you had big green high volume candles. So Bitcoin can stack a couple of these in a row, we'll be right back up above 29, messing around in the 30s. So see if we get any follow through on really what is just, positive sentiment, because nothing's technically changed. But the possibility of it changing has become much higher now. So that's badass. Oh, yeah. So, all right, let me wrap up the recap post. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 questions I put in there that I think were more mainstream in terms of like what people want to know.
This is a huge thread. I mean, like literally I'm seeing like 5 to 10 threads every like 60 seconds.
For those that made the Q&A list on the recap post, congrats. It's a small list, small select list. I will drop that in the Threadcast. AMA recap post. That's probably going to be the goal, just to get a handful of like main like higher level questions in the recap so I can focus on being part of the Threadcast. And the recap post is threaded. And I'll drop it in Discord, not that we're too active there. Oh, I think
vote the cat. Vote the cat.
I think
This post is live.
Post is live. I think I know my soul said 1,600 threads in a Threadcast is the record.
That was our last AMA. That was the record.
Oh, we ended up doing 1,600. Holy shit!
Yeah. Yep.
Because I mean, well, we went offline.
Some people stuck around after.
Yeah, we went offline. I'm talking about when we're actually live. So, yes, I like.
NRG said, "Man, it's my first experience with threads, and I'm in love. Love to hear that." Threadcasts are super fun. I think it's super engaging, and one thing you can bet that this is one thing we do with the DHF proposal is that we work with influencers and get them to do Threadcasts with their live streams. So just imagine an influencer with that averages like 500 to 5,000 live members in their audience on like Twitch or other places. And we get them to do a Threadcast with their audience, and we delegate them some Leo power so that they can upvote everyone in their Threadcast. So just try to picture that, but get your wheels turning a little bit about what that could look like. I mean, you could see 1,000 users jump in like this. Especially, so just picture we've got like a chess player influencer, because it doesn't have to be crypto only. We get like a chess player influencer that comes in. They're like a Twitch streamer. This is a idea from Eric, by the way. They're like a chess influencer on Twitch, and they're a streamer. We pay them some amount of money to come over to Leo Threads, and they create a Threadcast for their live stream for that day. And they tell their audience, "Hey, I'm giving away $500 in upvotes and maybe even some liquid rewards of some kind in the Threadcast." And they say, just jump over to this link, and it's the link to their Threadcast. There's a little sign up button in the bottom. They click sign up and they connect with their Google or Twitter account to Leo Infra. And then those users are signed up in like 30 seconds and they're in the Threadcast already. And then the influencer just keeps going with their Threadcast as they would with any other chat. And they're upvoting and they're giving out prizes. And now, we've literally onboarded 1,000 accounts. And then you've got to look at the retention rate, because not everyone's going to stick around. And our proposal clearly states that it's about the monthly active users that we onboard, not just people who come once. Because I'm sure we're going to onboard like 50,000 accounts, but we're on board like 50,000 accounts, and the goal is to keep at least 9,600 of them as active monthly users. So
yeah, that's the key, the retention. It's all about retention, keeping
and you guys
high.
Exactly. And you guys are in charge of the retention, because the reason, like I said at the beginning of this, and that's probably a good way to close too, the reason why people will stick around is because they feel like they're in an engaged and social and friendly and cool, interesting, fun community. So you guys are in charge of, making people feel welcome, helping explain, things that they might be confused about, and overall just engagement. So Tokenized Society said, let's retain some mofos. So that's the attitude that we like to see.
Yes,
exactly what we
grow
need.
the community. So show the love. Be like Swayze and Roadhouse. The number one rule is be nice. Well, how do we know when not to be nice? You don't. I will tell you.
I've never seen said movie, but it sounds funny.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it came out when you were born. Maybe sooner. Classic 80s movie.
One soon.
Listen, I just bask in knowing that Taskmaster's listening. So most movie quotes I throw out, I know he at least knows, because he's a little bit older than me. So he's definitely seen the flicks. But anyway, yeah. So next Tuesday, the 5th, same bat time, same bat channel. Get ready to thread your face off.
Sounds good.
It'll be a good one. And yeah, we'll get juiced up for the following week when we're IRL conferencing.
Yep.
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. Awesome Threadcast.
Sweet.
Let's
Yep.
keep-
Go vote the cat. His
Yes.
post is in the Threadcast comments and on
Recap post is
Discord.
out.
It's out.
It's out. And the Threadcast numbers are up. Cool.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you guys
Have a good
next week.